Welcome back to Stay Focused, Focus Real Estate's weekly video series. Today we're doing a local spotlight.
Yeah, and we are here in City Feed and Supply in Jamaica Plain, the original store on Boylston Street, with the co-owner and founder, David Warner. David, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome
to you guys.
Yeah, we've been wanting to make this happen for quite a while. I'm glad we were able to make this work.
Yeah, right on.
And share with all our viewers out there a little bit about your store and about what City Feed is and who you are.
City Feed is, so City Feed and Supply, we first had the idea about 20 years ago. 1999, and my wife Christine Cortese and myself, we were dating at the time, and we were living, she was actually living around the corner and I was living just a couple blocks up the street. So we both lived right here by the store, but it was vacant. The prior variety store had gone out of business and the space was vacant. So one day we were having dinner after work and she said, you know, that little store is vacant down there. Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if they sold food you actually wanted to eat and a good cup of coffee? And I was like, that's a great idea. It's right there. We live in this neighborhood. It's what we want to see. We should tell somebody else to do that.
You never had any intention to do it.
No intention, because neither one of us had any experience since we were
doing
teenagers, retail or food service.
Yeah.
But I just
What do you think? Are we crazy?
Yeah, exactly. But I couldn't get the idea out of my head, and so I started just researching, seeing what it would take, finding out who the landlord was, what they wanted to make, looking at the space, seeing what kind of work it needed. And over the course of the year, we wrote a business plan, we applied for funding, we negotiated a lease, and in January of 2000, we signed the lease, and in May of 2000, right before Wake Up the Earth, we opened our doors.
That's awesome. They've been making great coffee ever since.
We have been making great coffee. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. We've been working with Equal Exchange, which is they're located in West Bridgewater. They're a national.
I didn't realize they were that close.
Yeah, we worked with them. They were one of the first coffee companies we reached out to because of their mission to work with small farmers. And I come from a rural background, grew up in southern Missouri in a very rural area, and Christine, my wife, grew up in Southern California, but her family before that, both her parents, grew up in Fort Sumner, New Mexico. And her grandfather had a feed store, thus the name City Feed and Supply is a reference to her grandfather's store, which was Cortese Feed and Supply.
Nice.
Awesome. In New Mexico.
Cortese in Fort Sumner, New Mexico.
Going on 20 years now.
Yep, almost 20 years. Yeah. 20 years since the idea and 19 years since we opened the doors.
And you've grown a little since then.
We've grown a little since then, yep. In 2000,
Still little.
Yeah, just a little. In 2008, we opened the second store on Center Street, 672 Center Street. We definitely thought we were a little bit crazy, and a lot of people in the neighborhood thought we were a little bit crazy, but the business grew, the demand was there. We added in sandwiches because we got tired of people coming in at lunch and asking if we made sandwiches, so we started making
You
sandwiches.
just responded to your customer base.
Exactly, yeah.
So you're cafe,
full service
with sandwiches,
cafe, full service deli, and full service grocery, but not obviously a supermarket scale.
Right.
So I think what we try to do is be a neighborhood market that is as full service as we can possibly be. Our inventory skews as much as possible to organic and local, so 40% of our inventory is locally sourced. All the produce that isn't locally sourced is organic. And then we have a lot of specialty food that comes from local, regional, and some imports. We added wine and beer in 2010 at the Center Street store. So we've been growing, adapting,
awesome.
changing.
Soups.
But it's still a good cup of coffee and food you actually want to eat.
And you become a real staple here in the Jamaica Plain community over the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, we try to. I think, what did motivate Christine and myself wasn't so much that we really wanted to be in the food business, but we wanted to be in a neighborhood business because we both have been drawn to this neighborhood. We didn't grow up here. We moved here and just loved it. Mm-hmm. And thought, like, if there's something we can do where, like you guys, we live and work
exactly here in our neighborhood that we love and play and eat and support.
And we're serving our peers, people we know, and just feeling a connection to our work. That we thought maybe that'll be rewarding.
Yeah.
And it is.
It is, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is very
Yeah.
rewarding. It's the most rewarding part of the job. Now we're able to live in the neighborhood. We own an apartment in the neighborhood. Our son goes to school in the neighborhood, and we work in the neighborhood, and it's just been great.
And so we want the neighborhood to support our local businesses. And part of, speaking of local businesses, JP Local First.
Yeah.
David is one of the directors of JP Local First, and probably one of the founding members of that
founding
as
member.
well.
Yep. Definitely
Which
a
we're a
founding
part
member.
of as well.
Yep.
And we appreciate all the work you've done with
Yeah.
JP Local First in the business district here.
Awesome. What's something you'd like to share with the viewers that they might not know about your business or you guys, or to put you on the spot?
I know,
right? Right? I mean, you're very involved with the community.
Yeah.
You know, and I think people
And
respect that and know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to try to think of what folks
Any one
don't
thing,
know.
yeah.
Doesn't everybody know?
How about your
everything
favorite
about
sandwich?
me?
What's your favorite?
Well, actually,
That's a good one.
It is a good one, and I think a lot of people.
Farmer's friend. I mean, it would have to be mine.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the story with that one is a good one because it's a precursor to us serving sandwiches here, or me having any idea that I would ever want to even be in the sandwich business. And you know, when I was still single and I had a roommate, he had a ton of tomatoes that didn't ripen up. So he was like, I'm just going to pickle them. So he did a simple pickle recipe for his green tomatoes. And we were snacking on them one day, and he had some sharp cheddar cheese too. And we just put the pickled green tomato with the sharp cheddar cheese. And it created, you know, how food can sometimes create these memories, you know, when you're hanging out with somebody you like and you have something new and you're like, this is a great flavor combination. And years later, we were making a menu. And mostly we were focused on just classic combinations.
You know,
Deli sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly. Deli sandwiches. We put a sign up out and we said, write down your favorite sandwich.
Yeah.
And we took that inspiration from our customers and from
There you go.
people, you know, people who worked here, whatever. But I said, but there's one thing we have to get on the menu, some sort of combination of pickled green tomatoes and sharp cheddar cheese. And
Awesome.
that's the farmer's lunch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's been a popular sandwich and
Been with you 15 years now, huh?
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly.
Well, we thank you for being part of the community and providing to the community, and hope that all our viewers will continue to support both City Feed and Supplies on Boylston Street and on Center Street. Where can they find you online too?
cityfeedandsupply.com. We are building a new website, which should be launched in the next 30 days. By the time this is out,
it'll probably-
the new website should be
Great.
out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
us
you
and being
guys.
part of
It's
the
been
community.
a pleasure.
Yeah. And thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, stay tuned and stay focused.
Adios.